Did you know that 85% of people watching this channel right now are living abroad? I did the analysis yesterday and it blew my mind. And what even blew my mind most was the stories I was hearing about relatives living in UK, US, Belgium, Germany, Italy, who have the willing to do something in our continent, in our country, Ghana, but have been so much disappointed by actions of some of our brothers. And those of us who are even living here, who have done businesses or worked for our brothers, uncles, living abroad, and have also been cheated. Therefore, there's a big gap that we need to break if we are going to succeed in the projects we want to do here, and also to get the opportunities that are coming into this country. And that is why today I'm dedicating this episode entitled Working with Family Members Abroad and in Ghana. So if you're watching me today, stay tuned. My name is Fred and welcome to Semenshia Farms. Welcome back, guys. So as you can see, today I'm recording this episode from my house, so pardon me in case the dogs come around and cause a little bit of disturbances. But this topic is very important to me, and I think could solve a lot of our problems and help us achieve our goals and visions here in Ghana, Nigeria, Uganda, or wherever you find yourself. As I said, today we're going to be talking about working with family members. Family members directly doesn't mean that your brothers or sisters. It could be your friends. It could be your old school classmate that you know in Ghana and you're thinking about working or doing a project with him. This has been a big issue in most of the conversations that I've had with some of you living abroad and some of us living in Ghana. And what a sad and heartbreaking story it has all generated into. I have been an experience of that. I have lived, if you don't know, in so many different countries across America, Europe, and even Asia. And I have done projects in Ghana since I was the age of 18. I have come back to Ghana for the past 4 to 3 years and have still been doing projects here. And therefore, I know, and I'm going to speak from my experience and real life story. I have worked with families that have been a blessing, and I could honestly say that without them, I wouldn't have gotten to where I am today. I have also worked with families that have created so much disappointment in me that I nearly stopped everything I was doing in Ghana to return back to the States. And I know you and you are also probably facing the same problem. I know most vision and most projects are dead because of the past experience we've had. I know some of you has been cheated from houses to land to different projects that you want to do. I know the hassle you go through out there to be able to raise money to do something like that in Ghana. And to us Ghanaians here, I know our knowledge here that is not being valued and how we are being controlled and therefore cannot actually do what we are supposed to do to make the project succeed. Today I'm going to speak for both sides. I'm not going to be either in favor of you living in the US, America, Germany, Italy, Spain, or UK. Neither am I going to be in favor of you that is living in the Brahafo region, Kumasi, Sunyai, Accra, or wherever. But I'm going to try so that we can come into a conclusion and understanding on how best we can work together. Because these projects, these visions, is what is going to help us develop our community, what is going to help us give jobs to our younger brothers, what is going to help the generation to come in the family. Because if one person is able to establish a farm or is able to establish a school or whatever, he's gonna die and go. The next generation, the least job they could get to do is to be a teacher or to work at the farm. Therefore, don't let us kill this vision. So thinking about this episode took me to so many years back when I finished high school and I was 18 years. I remember exactly on the street and where I was when I received a call from my uncle who lives abroad and have been living there for over 30 years. And the conversation he had with me was, why are you guys depending on us? Why can't you start a farm? There is a fertile land, the weather is good. Don't be lazy, go into farm and start something. And at that point, you know what I thought of him? It's like, what is wrong with this man? I've just finished high school. It's either I go to school or it's either I come to abroad to stay with you. It didn't make a sense, and I actually thought this man is probably crazy. Or why is he giving me such an advice? And the worst thing is, I even felt like he thought I was useless because I wasn't doing any of those things. And that was my mentality by then. But after some years, after all my achievement, after all my travels, you might think I'm here in Ghana, but I've traveled all over the world. And after all the education, 7 different universities, degrees, I came back and here I am in my community doing farming. So I asked myself when I was thinking about this episode, that what then went wrong? That I didn't understand the vision or what my uncle was telling me. Why by then did I think that this was impossible, this wasn't something he was supposed to say to me? So, our brothers, sisters, fathers, uncles living outside Ghana or Nigeria, wherever you are, don't give hope, because we are willing to help you. And to our brothers that are here, let's gather the courage. Let's learn how to serve. Let's learn how to be trustworthy and help this project. I, per se, when I was in college, have built a school in my community. And that now, for generations, is going to support my family and my community. As I said before, the least person in my family that would say, I won't even continue in my education, or I don't want to do anything, could at least go to the school and get a job to do. And I have built that legacy for my family, for my community, for my region. That same project that your brother, your uncle, your father is thinking about, who knows what it could become. Therefore, it is important for us to talk about this. So, bear with me as I share with you my experiences and so on. First of all, I'm going to take the side of people living in Ghana, Nigeria, Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania. I know some of us are watching us from Zimbabwe and everywhere in Africa, that are corresponding with your fathers, with your brothers, with your uncles living outside the continent, who are thinking about doing business. Why so much disappointment? Why so much frustration and deceiveness and mistrust? And that is what I want to talk about today. So the first thing, as I said, I'm going to talk from the Ghanaian, from the Ugandan, for the person in this continent's point of view. And I think the number one thing that sometimes causes the frustration on our side here locally is the fact that, who are we working with? Who is the uncle? Who is the father? Who is the brother? Who was he when you knew him? Do you even know him? What kind of person that he is? Somebody who is living in America doesn't make him a good person. If you were a thief here, if you were a cheater, if you were not trustworthy, if you were an alcoholic in Ghana, the fact that you're living in US, in UK, in Belgium, doesn't mean that you are all of a sudden no more a cheat or no more a liar. So if you're in Ghana and your uncle says, let's do this, you also need to know who he is. Because yes, we also get disappointed. Some of you have promised us. Some of you have given us promises of things you're going to do for us. Or when we do this for you, what we are going to get in return. And we never got it. So the disappointment sometimes comes from us too. So if you're a Ghanaian, if you're a Ugandan, if you're in the continent and working with a family member, first thing, know who he is, what kind of person he is. He might have all the visions, all the dreams, all the money. But if he's selfish, he's going to be selfish with you. And therefore, you will work for him, and he's not going to reward you as you deserve. So number one is, who are you working with? What kind of person are you working with? Number two, I want to talk about is commitment. You are in Ghana, you have your own gig going on. Respect. Whether you sell foods, whether you're hustling there, whether you're doing your own farm, or you have your side businesses, don't be shy or scared to tell whoever that is asking you to manage his project, to build his house, to take time and go and buy land for him or whatever. Don't be shy or fear to say, I am busy here. Because it needs commitment. If somebody's going to invest his life saving, all his life saving, hustling in Europe, hustling in America, to invest into a project for you to manage or for you to supervise, and you go one and you send him pictures of fake projects because you're busy doing your side hustle, because you have some girlfriend who is keeping you busy. If you can't commit to that, be honest with them. So my number two from us living in Ghana here is commitment. If you can't commit, be transparent that I can't commit to this project. I have something doing, so that it's not a disappointment or a frustration after all. So number three is willingness. Your brother who's watching this channel probably wants to start a goat farm or a poultry farm or a cattle farm, and has reached out to you to say, hey, Kwaku, I want to start a cattle farm. Do you want to come and help me? Meanwhile, Kwaku, you have an intention of going to America, or your intent is further your education, or your intent is learning carpentry. If you're not willing, please do not say yes. Just because you want to please him, or just because the whole family says, Kwaku, you have to help your brother. Kwaku, you're at home. It will bring disappointment. Kwaku should know his path, what he wants to do. If things are not going as planned, and Kwaku think he can give you 1 year, 2 years to support you achieve your vision, Kwaku should be willing enough to tell you that, brother, I can commit 2 years, and from the money I'm going to raise from that 2 years, I want to go into carpentry. Don't start and then in the middle leave your brother, your uncle hanging. Even though he has not planned to come and settle yet, now he has to come. Why? Because Kwaku, in his mind, thought it was going to be a 1 year journey, but didn't communicate that. So the willingness for you to go on this journey that your uncle, your father is telling you, please be transparent and let them know. Because at the end of the day, it's going to be an investment that needs to be recouped. And therefore, we want to come against the act of disappointment. So let's be willing to share what we want to do. My fourth one for we living in Ghana is the skills. The skills and knowledge for us to go into it. I will take poultry farming for an example. Poultry farming is a very risky business. If you have an uncle, if you have a brother who's saying, I want to start a poultry farm, I have the cash, so get a land and let's go and start a poultry farm. If Kwaku doesn't have any idea about poultry farm, you need to be able to let your uncle know. You need to let your brother know. If he agrees to invest into you to learn and then bring it in, fine. But don't let us do, I know, and then at the end of the day, cause that big risk. Or abandon the project because we were failing. This could also bring a huge disappointment or failure into most of the project that we want to do. Whatever it is, people don't like to learn. As most of you know, I have traveled to the US, I think 3 or 4 times, just to learn also about cattle businesses and bring it here. And that is why I started this YouTube channel, that we are all benefiting from it. If you have a brother that you want him to go into cattle farming, if you have somebody you're already working with, and you spend the time, give him internet to start learning about what information we are sharing and more that is out there. That knowledge is going to help us achieve our goals and visions that we have. So that knowledge is very important. So if you're a Ghanaian, Nigerian watching me, and you have a brother sitting somewhere in the European country, in the American countries, saying that let's do this, please seek the knowledge and the skills you need so that it can succeed and both of you can benefit from it. This is my 4 basic advice to you if you're watching me. Now I want to turn back and go to our brothers, sisters that are living outside the continent, that have visions, ideas. It is amazing and it is blessing for you guys to be able to have exposure to all the things that you're seeing in the European countries and so many other continents, and you want to bring it here. We say thank you for that good thought, and we pray that we will all be able to support you. But we need to learn a couple of things because we haven't seen what you have seen. And therefore, my number 1 advice is the abusuasem. It's business that you want to do. None of you that have reached out to me have said that, oh, I want to start a farm here so that it will be for my family or so that just Ghana will benefit. You have all said that I want to start a project here, a farm here with my capital, so that someday if I retire and I come home, I can have a living. Oh, I want to start a farm here so that my kids here will be able to make a living out of it. It is business, so let's think business. If you want to start a project here, I don't think the first thing you need to do is to go to your abusuapeni and say, is anybody at home to help me? Or to go to your brother that you know is definitely a teacher, to convince him to stop being a teacher and come and be a farmer. So let's think business-wise. Let's look for the right people to help us. Sometimes it doesn't have to be a family. Sometimes you need the experts. If you want to go into poultry farm, right? You don't have to go and look for your uncle who is at home, who has been farming for 40 years, to say all of a sudden come and manage my poultry business. What do you think is going to happen? So sometimes let's also put the abusuasem aside a little bit and then look for the right people for the right job. The abusuasem, the niece, the nephew that you want to manage this project, you yourself know that he's not a trustworthy person. But because we are not ready to invest into the right experts, we tend to do it just like that. And when we do it just like that, it brings disappointment. Not everything should we rely on our family. If I talk about people abroad wanting to do, it doesn't necessarily mean people living in Europe or in America. You can be in Accra thinking about starting a project in your village or in your small community. Even though you have a full-time job, you will need somebody to support you. You are also considered as this topic, as I'm referring to people living abroad or even people that cannot be present at their projects. So I'm not saying that it is not good to work with your family member or relative or a friend, but make sure that not everything do you have to rely on them. Sometimes you need an expert who might not be your family. So let's also think like that when we are starting a project. The second advice that I have for you wanting to start a project is the understanding that you are the one with the vision and the understanding of what you want to do. Just like my uncle was telling me about farming, and it didn't make a thing for me. But after these years, I understood what he was referring to. And even without he knowing, I started the journey myself. You with the vision needs to be able to communicate clearly to the people that are on the ground who are going to help you. Because if you're thinking about doing intensive cattle farming, or you're thinking about doing a specific project that you have been exposed to wherever you are, don't forget we haven't seen that. And well, if you leave it up to us, we will just do it as we have seen it. It's just like if you take somebody who have gone through the Ghanaian education for 12, 13 years and you say, go and be a teacher. He's just going to teach the way he was taught. So we are always going to do things the way that we know how it is done here. So if you're starting a project with us, make sure you communicate the vision the understanding, what it is that you want us to do, so that we can better understand and execute it the way that you want it. Even buying a land, there are so many factors that we need to. Some of the people that probably are managing your project doesn't have access to internet, but you do, and have researched, have watched videos like mine. You have come up with information and knowledge about how to buy a land, what kind of land you need for your crop farming or livestock farming. You need to share that knowledge with that. You need to make sure that vision is clear to your project manager, to your relative, and they actually believe in it and think they are willing to support you. Then you can guide them and teach them gradually and get to the point where you can both celebrate and enjoy the success of the vision. So that is my point number 2 to you. So my point number 3 is the willingness. I know I spoke about willingness when I was talking about on the other side. But again, sometimes we living abroad think very less of our brothers and sisters living in Ghana. And I'm speaking this from experience as well, you know, and also from conversations that I've had with most of you. But mostly we have the mentality that, oh, my younger brother, he's at home. You know, he's in the village there, he's doing nothing. Let me go and do something, with the mind that we are actually helping him. Sometimes we have children in Ghana, they have their own plans. Don't forget, you've been gone for probably a while. They know what they are doing here too. But we mostly think the fact that they are home doing anything, they should go and do this. So it's not actually a matter of, I want this and this is how we are going to be doing it. It's a matter of utifie and fast news. And I say, when people call you, you know, they tell you, oh, Kwakudia, he's just at home on Bob Rabia. And then we take that notion and say, therefore, let me start project. Kwaku should be able to go and work there. No. You'll be surprised when you come and meet Kwaku in the village. Kwaku changes his clothes twice every day. Kwaku wear designer wears. I'm sure you don't wear designer wear sitting in UK or in the US. Kwaku wants to buy Gucci bags, slippers. Right? So they have their own life. Even though people or you sitting outside might think that they are useless or they are not doing anything better, you might be right. But you're not right if they are not thinking the same way you're thinking. Therefore, let's not invest our capital just because we have the mind that, oh, may I be for, and I say I'm doing it to help the community as a whole. It is good. But don't bet your capital because you don't have the right people and you think there are people in the community who are not employed, or their family members who are not employed. There's a reason why they are not employed. There's a reason why their life is where they are since you left. So don't waste your life-saving capital to establish a business for their sake or in their name, or with the hope that they are the one going to manage it for you. So before you invite a family, a friend, a project manager, make sure you've both sat down and he's willing, not just for you doing, and he understands what you want to do. And that's when you bring him on board. So that is my number 3rd point or advice to you. Willingness from the family member or the friend that you're bringing into your business. So number 4 is the know-all attitude. You know, there have been so many times where I was living in either London or somewhere and didn't really have a glimpse of what was going on the ground. And sometimes we'll always argue or battle with some decisions that were taken on the ground. And now till I came in and really saw what was going on, I kind of understood and realized that I wouldn't have had some argument or questioned some decisions if I had actually knew what was going on. Most of us have been away for quite a while. We understand you have the vision, but we need to respect the people that we have entrusted the work to. If you have entrusted the work to your family member, to an expert, to a friend, first of all, you trusted and you believed in this person before you did so. That is, if you have taken my advice from previous parts that I talked about. If you have entrusted this person with it, then you need to also trust him that he knows a bit of what he's doing, even though you are the visionary. Sometimes we think we know everything, and every decision needs to be consulted, needs to be spoken to us about. When that happens, there is no joy in the project or the work that you have assigned to them. Allowing them to also be owners and not renters of your project also brings an excitement and a long-term partnership between whoever is managing your project and whoever you are outside who is also sponsoring, or say the boss of the project. So I would definitely advise you that you hire an expert and you trust that expert to know what is going on the ground. He can feel the soil. We can send you a picture of the soil, the land, but you wouldn't see how the texture of the soil is. Therefore, you trust them with that decision as well. So that is my advice number 4 to you as well, so that you trust the people that we have entrusted the work to, and then we know that with their local expertise, they will be able to deliver as well. So I hope I wasn't biased, and I hope you're not mad at me. I am just sharing with you what I think, and this is just an advice. You can decide to take it, or maybe it doesn't work for you. But after speaking to both sides, I have come up with a few solutions that have worked well for me, and I want to share it with you guys as well. Hopefully it works in your situation, but if it doesn't work, this channel is not the last stop. Do more research, talk to more experienced people as well, and gather some more information as well. My number 1 advice to solve this issue between working with our relative is don't even start if you don't think this person is right for you. We know ourselves. It's either your friend, it's either your brother, your uncle. You know who he is in the community. You know who he was when you were children. If you think he's not somebody you can do business, your family is family. You have no choice, but you have a choice on who you entrust your life saving. Like, I'm very serious about this. Your life saving, your hustle, and something that you want to do here, so that someday, if you want to come back home, you can live on. Don't trust it on somebody that you have doubts. I've heard people say, this my brother is too timid. Hey, he's not moving fast. You know who you are. If you're like me, who is always on the move, I can work from Monday to Sunday, and next Monday morning I will stand up. So many people, even workers that I have, Friday, Saturday, they want to rest, and I'll be going. If I say I'm going to work, I'll be working the whole day. I'm hardworking per se. Therefore, I know there are some people that I can't work with. I can't even stand them. So you need to know. When we call you at 6 a.m., you will pick the call. When we call you at 10 p.m., you will pick the call. There are people that after 6, they turn off their phone, or they put it on silence. There are so many different kind of people, and if you're watching me and you've done business, you know. Choose the right people, not because they are family member. If they know you can work, because they're going to give you hassle. I spoke to a brother about 2 days ago, and he was frustrated about how his cattle is being raised and treated, and the stories. I spoke to another brother a couple of weeks ago. The same problem. He's trusted it with his brother, and he's just giving him stories. He doesn't even go there. But meanwhile, you had a sense of who this brother is before you even started the business with him. Please, be patient. Find the right person. Find somebody. Test them out before you go into business with them. Business is like marriage. Your business partner is the second wife you can have. Right? So choose carefully who you're going to go into business with and who you're going to entrust your project with before you even think about it. My second solution or recommendation is clarity. Clarity has 3 components: requirements, reward, expectation. Before anybody that you go into business with, anybody that you think you want to work with, you need to be clear on these 3 things. What are the requirements for this business? Kojo, I'm going to start a poultry farm. I want you and I to work on this together. Kojo, will ask you, what are the requirements, uncle? Uncle says, I want you to be a full-time worker at the poultry farm. I want you to be managing the poultry farm every day. Include what? Supervising the building of the pen, ordering the chicks when they come in, changing water, feeding them, doing everything. And as it grows, we will be able to what? Add somebody or hire another person. You need to make very good clarification of what is going to be required of Kwajo. If Kwajo is going to be fully on board, or is it going to be partial, or is it going to be a consultation? There needs to be that clarification. The second thing is the reward. What does Kwajo get from this? In Ghana, we have this habit of, brother. We meet somebody today, we start calling him brother. It's a good culture to have, but it doesn't work in business. And I know you are a victim of it. How many times have you called me to buy you a land or to get you something without any of these things that I'm talking about being established? You enter into a shop, you enter into an office, and in 2 seconds, you're referring to yourself brothers, friends. And that is why it makes it very easy for people to collect bribe. Because once we move from professionalism to brother, sister, cordial relationship, then it's easy for me to ask you for money. It's easy for me to ask you for a gesture. Let's stick to business if we mean business, right? I know most of you, I do this because out of my heart, I want to share this knowledge. But I know sometimes most of you call me, say, I want you to visit my farm in Kumasi. I want you to visit this land and make sure it's right. Brother, thank you very much. God bless you. Yes, but it takes transportation. It takes internet. It takes credit. If we don't want to be successful in business, then fine, let's do whatever. But let's make sure that we are going into business with a clear idea of what is expected and what the reward is going to be. What is required of this person and what the reward is. Most people will actually help you because they have an expectation that someday you might reward them, right? With what? With a travel to Europe. One day you might come and pick them to America. And that is why when you say go here, go here, go here, they go. So guys, let's make sure that when we establish requirement, we also establish the reward. Is it going to be a monthly payment? Or is it going to be a travel visa? Or is it going to be a yearly payment? Or is it going to be you having a percentage? Sometimes we think we are even helping our brothers here. So we say, oh, come go and do it, without any clear establishment of what the return is going to be. And then what happens? Disappointment. When a better offer comes, they leave. So guys, let's settle that as the point number 2 after requirement. And then the number 3 is the expectation. If the reward is not done well, then we both have different expectations. What is expected of Kwajo? Is Kwajo expected to call me every evening? I know most of us, when we are abroad and doing projects here, we like updates. The moment we are free on weekends or we come back from work, we expect our people in Ghana to call us. Let's have a clear plan of what we expect from them. Do we need a monthly call to update us? Do we need a weekend call? Or what is it that we expect Kwajo to be doing for us or to be telling us as we are far away from the project? Let's establish these 3 things: the requirement for the job, the reward for the job, and what is expected from the people to us. If we're able to establish these 3 things, that is the clarity point, then we will be able to head towards a successful project. So, my point number 3, which I think is my recommendation and solution to the disappointment in working with family members, is for you, the boss, to know that no one can do it as you can. I remember one time I was in the US, I came to Ghana, and when we first started the school, I had to go back to school because the semester has resumed. And things at the school was chaos. I said, there is no way I'm ever going to leave the school just like this. I won't be able to focus on my studies. So I'm going to stay behind and get things done till I'm actually convinced before I leave. And one of my good friend, father, who had come from the US to support me here, told me that, Fred, you know there is only one Fred, and no one can actually do it exactly the way you will do it. So you have to trust the people that you have entrusted the work to. Phrase or advice was something that really stuck to me, and I have taken that throughout every journey or every project that I do. Know that you can't do everything yourself, and in your case you're actually not there, so you definitely cannot do it now. You can do it when you come back, but not now. Therefore somebody will have to do it, and that person is definitely not going to do it the same way as you will do it. But what is most important, that that person gets your vision and understanding. We all know there is heaven and there is God, but how we get there is through different means. So I hope this advice sticks, that whoever that you're thinking about handling your project, he is a different being. He is Kwaku, you're Yao, or he's in Ghana, you're in the US. He's going to do it. Even though it's going to achieve the same results, it's not going to be the same way. So let's be patient. Let's build trust. Let's guide them. Yes, Kwaku, you did it this way. I wanted you to do it this way. Did you achieve the results? No. Okay, then maybe next time you should listen to me. Did you achieve the results? Oh, good. Then how did you do it? Okay. And then from there, you can trust Kwaju's ways of doing it as well. So let's know that no one is going to do it exactly the way we will do it. The same way we all have different handwriting, the same way we're going to have a way of writing our journey and stories. So please take note of that. And that is my point number 3. I told you I'm very passionate about this topic, and it's going to take us a while. So by my last support or advice or recommendation to you is to invest in the people that you work with. As you already know, people in Ghana will already, no matter what you tell them about the life in Europe, or will always hold you on high esteem and will want to be where you are. Even if you're working in Europe, it's no good. Even if you're walking through snow, they wish to have that kind of life. Therefore, as you pick people from the bottom, excuse me to say, and trying to bring them up, or even if they are qualified or already up, always think about where you want them to be next. Investing in people is another good way of helping them get committed and helping you achieve your goal and vision. How do you do that? You know, there are so many different courses that you can help them to achieve. If Kwajo wants to be a teacher, but because of lack of financial support, he's actually helping you establish your farm, what do you do so that someday Kwajo can also achieve his goal as becoming a teacher? Let's invest into their life. Let's bring them things that they can learn. Let's share with them. Let them see themselves also growing, so that they are always not at where they are whilst you and your family are growing or developing. So that is my advice to you. Help your workers grow. Invest in them in any way. You know, support their children if you can. You know, pay some of their school fees. Give them health insurance. You know, whatever you can do to support, and also invest. I know you will pay them. I know you have established a reward, but just an investment for the sake of your project and your vision, and also just showing appreciation. And I hope if we can combine these 4, I'm not saying that is the entire solution. I'm sure we will make a progress, because I really want you to succeed. I want your project to succeed in Ghana, because it is going to help this nation, because it's going to offer employment. And I have seen that. Don't let the few people, the few of us that are not ready, that cannot be trusted, ruin and let your idea go to waste, or your visions go to waste. There are days that are frustrated, and I'm speaking to some of you because I have spoken to you. This channel is getting personal, but I have spoken to some of you, and I know you have the edge of giving up. I was too. There was a point where I was like, I could go back to the States and just live my life. But I look at the number of people that are working, the number of lives that we are changing every day. If I hadn't taken this step, what would have happened? So guys, I hope this video was useful. I hope I've touched on some points, and as I said, this is based on my belief and just an advice to you. If it syncs with you, if there is even one thing that you can take from it to help build your relationship with the people you're working with here before you come down and take over, please give us a thumbs up and write your comment. I really want to see what you think about this video. As I said, I'm not offended whether it wasn't going your way, but I know I spoke my mind and what I believed in. So share your comments with me, and if you haven't subscribed, subscribe. And once in a while, I will gather this vim to be able to speak up to you guys. Thank you very much for watching, and I wish you all the best.